Another inch of snow, and we're going to hit the 10-foot mark in Anchorage for the season. We're watching flooding conditions closely tonight along the western Kenai Peninsula borough. Girdwood is a sea of people as the town of about 2,000 comes alive for the annual Forest Fair celebration. The fair also marks the anniversary of a mysterious disappearance that has baffled investigators and family who are not giving up on their search for answers. Good evening. A high wind warning is in effect in Anchorage as gusts as high as 75 miles per hour could be expected in Hillside. We have an update to another fatal officer-involved shooting reported last week in a home outside Fairbanks. Developments tonight, a search and rescue team has recovered the bodies of 3 geologists with the Department of Natural Resources and a pilot who were on board a helicopter that crashed into a shallow tundra lake on the North Slope Thursday night. We've got multiple stories, videos, interviews of glacial dam outburst flooding in Juneau over the last couple years online now at alaskasnewssource.com. I'm sure you've seen the commercials for Ballot Measure 2 in Alaska. They're everywhere. Protesting Anchorage police tonight, friends and family of an Alaska Native woman missing for the last 5 years sent police a message today at headquarters. Still to come on the news at 5, details on a missing boater in the interior. Also, a man is accused of threatening a vacationing family in Healy. Plus, a woman survives after rolling an ATV in Wasilla. All that and much more when we come back. A deadly landslide in Ketchikan this afternoon prompting evacuations, an emergency shelter being established, and a response from state and national officials. A state of disaster issued for Ketchikan tonight as a landslide prompting mandatory evacuations. 1 person has died, 3 injured, and of those 3, 2 of those hospitalized, and no one currently missing. That information we got moments ago from the Ketchikan Gateway Borough. Olivia Nordyke has been talking with city and borough officials tonight, as well as a woman who has family in Ketchikan. Olivia, what can you tell us about this landslide?
I want to show you something right here. Take a look up this mountain. That's where the landslide started on Sunday, or very close to where it started. You can hear construction equipment operating. What you're listening to is these crews getting drainage ready to try to prevent another reoccurrence here. And I want to show you down this mountain right here. So just a few days ago, this was thick forest. This is the top of the landslide from the vantage point of the access road that's above 3rd Avenue. I talked with husbands James and Bill Montevere, who are staying at one of the hotels on one of Ketchikan's main streets, who survived a landslide and got emotional when talking about being saved by a couch and a dishwasher. James Montevere was on the couch watching TV in his house on Sunday when he heard a roar and found himself on the ceiling. He was thrown back towards the floor and says the couch landed in a way that saved his life. His husband, Bill Montevere, says he was saved by a dishwasher.
All I could tell is I was now underground and he was above me. I couldn't move. Everything around me was flattened, except
the dishwasher had flipped over, the refrigerator had flipped over and hit the dishwasher because the countertop took it and created a wedge where he was under and saved under that.
Bill Montevere says everything in the kitchen was flattened except for him and a dishwasher. That dishwasher could have killed him, but it saved his life. Coming up tonight at 10, hear how the men find positivity and humor after a series of tragedy and miracles they say saved their lives. So the details that I could confirm with the police officer out here is that it is at the Turnagain CrossFit, that business was open when it collapsed, and right now the next step in this process is to bring some heavy equipment back here to try to stabilize the building to prevent further collapse. We will continue to bring you the very latest information and news about the situation as it unfolds. Reporting live, Joe Cadotte, Alaska's news source. Yeah, Beth, she gave that speech moments after those initial results came in, thanking her friends, family, all of the volunteers and staff and everyone who's been supportive of her in this nearly year-long campaign. So I'm a block and a half from East 6th on Valley, where I'm between Rangeview Road and Mason Road. And just off to the east here, in this direction, is where I've seen
police bring equipment and personnel over the last couple of hours in this direction, and we've heard some explosions and bangs off and on over the last couple of hours, and some chatter over there over some kind of radio system. Also, a drone is in the air, and there's been a helicopter that's been hovering around this area. Those 4 schools that Rebecca was talking about that are impacted by this lockdown, I'm about to go knock on some doors out here and ask if we can find some eyewitnesses or ear witnesses to what happened out here. Because this was not evacuated, people just weren't allowed in. There were people out. One guy was mowing his lawn earlier, like a few feet from where I'm at, while this was an active situation. So this lockdown impacted people from being able to come back in. The bees that landed on us while we were filming looked curious and seemed to be comfortable on us, just hanging out with pollen hanging off of them. Definitely the star of the show are all of these bees making this famous honey here in Homer. Hidden within these trees, branches, and plants, though, are invasive species that have been here, some for decades, that are harming the local native plants, local wildlife, and can disrupt the food supply for local fish. We've gotten a number of phone calls in the newsroom, emails from people asking about the voting process and the voting times. What we heard just moments before you saw me on camera is that anyone in line will be able to cast their vote. That's what we've definitively confirmed here while I've been on the air. And just a reminder out there that the Democratic primary election that will happen on April 13th. Anchorage Police Department telling me tonight that there have been 5 injury crashes and 27 non-injury crashes reported since 12:01 this morning across the city. Back to you. Bell 206L4 helicopter was carrying 3 Alaska Department of Natural Resource geologists along with the pilot when the aircraft crashed on July 20th. And in the report, new details from the NTSB about the crash of the helicopter that went into a shallow, remote lake about 50 miles southwest of Utqiagvik. The owners of the Forest Park Trailer Court in Chugiak are being accused of acquiring new residents months after the municipality of Anchorage issued eviction notices. At the same time, the commissioner of the state's Department of Environmental Conservation is saying the trailer court has had active water and sewage issues for years. One of the owners, though, is saying nearly everything the commissioner is saying about them is not true. And you can see how those tents behind me along that hill are kind of pushed off to one side. In video that we took this morning, just a couple of hours ago, that wasn't the case. This is because city workers and law enforcement were tidying things up there about an hour and a half ago. To be clear, the city is saying that that was not an abatement. That fire spread to part of this dock here. You can see right here is Whittier's only fueling dock for water vessels. There were an estimated nearly 1,300 beluga whales who lived in Cook Inlet in 1979. That was considered healthy. Jill Seymour, who is a marine mammal specialist with NOAA Fisheries, says overharvesting is to blame for the original decline of the animal. In 2000, there was an estimation of about 435 beluga whales. The town hall, which is set to begin here in about 25 minutes at the library, is one of many facets of several plans that the city intends on tackling the issue head on. At about 6 o'clock, we'll start to hear public testimony possibly about the academy's changes that could make dramatic changes to the way high schools operate across the Anchorage school district. A lot of public criticism and a lot of public support on that, and that meeting could go late. We could be here as late as 11 tonight waiting for a final vote. Expanding the type of roof construction they now say is at risk. Specifically, we're going to be talking about metal framework built between the 70s and 80s called trusses, and specifically wood truss frames expanded to metal plates of all types. There was a tense situation out here for hours as rescuers were trying to find some of the dogs who had gone missing. At one point, one of the dogs had gone out onto the ice, and there were some earlier talks of a possible helicopter rescue. It's a Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer. High-ranking military officials were there at this morning's ceremony, along with friends, family, and colleagues of the former U.S. Senator. The Justice for Chris Handy rally and march started at the Martin Luther King Jr. Living Memorial and ended at APD's headquarters, where his mom, brother, and father sat amidst the crowd who were demanding justice and that officer-worn body camera footage be released. Chris Handy's mom was crying, missing her son, while sitting under the Anchorage Police Headquarters sign. I asked her what gave her the strength to show up at the rally today.
When I got up this morning, it was overcast, and as God is my witness, He let the sun shine, He let these people come out, and I think that the people have spoken what they want.
What do you think Chris would say if he was here today?
I'm proud of you, Mom.
How is the family doing through all of this tragedy that your family has gone through? What would your brother say if he were alive today? We're so extremely sorry for your losses here over the months and years. Thank you so much for coming in and
Thank you, Joe.
shedding your time.
Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you, Channel 2.
I know that this has been a federally recognized holiday. Is it nice to finally see this being so close or becoming officially deemed a state-recognized holiday? Now, talking about a misdiagnosis, is that something that is more common among the BIPOC community when we're talking about cancer? Do you know if China has responded to any of these allegations or has made any comment about all of this? So I've got to ask, I see you both on a throne, what looks like a throne. How do you get into a position like that?
You kill your predecessor.
Oh.
No, it's we've been with these with this group.
Is National Hairball Day real?
It is real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lots of cats to tell about out there. Your time's coming.
Environment, you never know what you might see.
All right, coming up on the news at 5, we're all out of dancing goats, but we do have some more Robert Forget and some more forecasts. I keep thinking about 70 inches of snow in 2 months. Now, if we keep by that math, we should have like 10,000 inches of snow by the end of winter, right?
It's a lot of snow, yeah.
You said something about absorbing Thunder Mountain. That's what I feel like after drinking a couple iced coffees. You know? That's great to see football come back. I gotta give a shout to them. I mean, that's creativity.
That looked pretty good, yeah.
I mean, you could
Pretty
have like
fun.
a press conference with somebody reading from a sheet of paper, volunteers. Not that that would be bad.
Yeah,
They're
getting into it.
They're getting into it. I
And
can't
it's
say
looking
enough.
good.
Making that interesting is impressive, I gotta say. Pretty in Pink. People are heading back to the movies thanks to 2 super hyped movies out this weekend, Oppenheimer and Barbie. I'm thinking like the next time somebody's like, are you sure you can grill? I'll be like, are you sure you can grill? Are we getting a second fall spring? Is that what's happening here?
Not quite, Joe.
Still to come on the news at 5, we sent our investigative team to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center this morning to see if we could catch the Grinch lurking around the sanctuary, trying to steal Christmas. Down on the Kenai Peninsula, even the dogs got into the spirit. You could say these dogs were pumped for Halloween. Heidi Sinclair runs the Seward Dog Lodge. I'm sorry to say it, that fish laying on the wood there kind of looked like he was way out of steam.
I did think just a little bit. Who's going to buy that?
It's probably not going to be me.
Ready? Get ready.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Gotta do it again. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Ooh, I got you. All right, I heard a moose was eating a pumpkin on your property today.
Where'd you hear that? That's pretty good.
I don't know, but wouldn't that be a snack-o'-lantern?
It would be a snack-o'-lantern. Hey, let's go ahead and look at the forecast again.
You say you're going to Lost Lake?
Lost Lake, yeah.
And you found it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you're a pirate, we hope you have some swashbuckling fun. If you have to be outside, dress in layers. That's some other good advice. But you don't want to be like that kid in the Christmas Story and have your arms sticking up like this. Where, if you saw the movie, you know what I'm
Something
talking
like that, yeah.
about. Right. Everybody stay safe. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll be here in the morning. Hopefully we can show you at the end of the credits here. If not, look at that. It's a moose playing with a wind chime. I don't think the world gets more perfect than this.
I think I know that one.
Yeah, I think Tyler knows that moose.
He needs to be in the band.
You're out there, you think you won that game of cribbage, we're on overtime. Believe me, I've forgotten about the game. Have a good night. What a nice ending to the newscast.
Yeah.
Let's do this every day for the rest of the year.
How about 10 o'clock?
Perfect.
Okay.